Today in the crypto space, we're seeing a bit of green throughout the market. Bitcoin up approximately 3%. Ethereum still holding steady around that $2,200 mark. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, are definitely moving. We have Near Protocol, we have Stacks, and a few others looking pretty green. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator. And more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin that is retracing and potentially at a good buy the dip opportunity. And that project is called ZEPH. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on those socials, but better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, learning material, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the general market. First, we'll take a look at Bitcoin as a leading indicator, and then I want to talk about ZEPH. Guys, there are some projects that are definitely retracing and coming down to lower levels, despite some of the altcoins right now that are running. We're seeing a lot of the layer ones, a lot of the bigger altcoins doing well. There are some that are getting the retracement, and those may be the opportunity that we are looking for to get in, right? You don't want to get in on those green pumps. You want to get on those retracements. So let's look at the general market first. We see Bitcoin getting a nice pop today, guys. I'm expecting a nice distribution phase for Bitcoin eventually, and right now it's looking pretty good. We're back at the top of the range. Bitcoin at about 44K. That's what I expected. A little bit of sideways action for the next little while. Yeah, it could look bullish, right? But be careful here, guys, because we know that Bitcoin right now is being a bit frothy here at the top, so we want to make sure that we protect ourselves. Ethereum kind of going sideways. I would have expected it to kind of run up a little bit more given Bitcoin showing a bit of strength, but at least Ethereum is going sideways. That's all we could really expect. Tether kind of depegged just a little bit here in the last little while, but not too bad, still holding that $1 mark, so that's all good. BNB grinding to the upside, still up approximately another 2%, and as we continue going down, we see Solana looking strong again, up 8%, AVAX up 5%. We have, but still within range, but still could be looking for a breakout or continuation to the upside. And as you go down, a few percents to the upside for Polkadot, Tron, Chainlink kind of going sideways. We have Toncoin going sideways. And a few others kind of still going sideways. Nothing really that crazy. Injective is still looking good, guys. Injective might be at a level where we want to be protected. We want to be prepared for a potential retracement. It's been grinding up way too often and way too quickly and consistently. So that's where it's time to start getting with a defensive strategy. So let's put Injective on the list, guys, for tonight's live stream. Obviously, guys, if you have any requests, that's a great time and place to make those requests. Join me live tonight and I'll put your requests in top priority. But for now, I'm going to put Injective on the list because I feel like, you know, when you see some good gainers, when you see some good traction, eventually it's due for a bit of a retracement, even if it's for profit-taking opportunities. That's it. Okay, so let's continue going down here. We see H-bar continuing to the upside, guys. If you got into that H-bar position that I've been talking about in the last little while, H-bar is definitely looking good. It's up 7%. Any positions right now should be in a defensive zone. Guys, I want to take a look at H-bar tonight, obviously, as well, so that we can, you know, make this plan full circle. H-bar looking good, up 10% in the last 7 days, not too bad. Immutable X also up approximately 10%, not too bad either. Near Protocol, man of the match, I think for today is doing pretty good, up 18%. Doing great, guys. I've been rooting for Near Protocol. I've been rooting for AVAX. I've been rooting for many of these layer ones in the last little while and anticipating and hoping that they would make a comeback. And guess what, guys? We're seeing that as we speak. VeChain, another one doing pretty good, not too bad. I'm hoping to see a little bit more out of VeChain. Filecoin kind of going sideways still. Caspa up 8%, guys. Despite the negativity, despite the pullback, it is up 8% in the short term. Guys, I'm expecting a further continuation to the downside for Caspa in the short term, but long term bullish, of course. Bull run style. Caspa should do well and continue to do well. Just understand that right now, Caspa's market cap is at about $2.5 billion, which means that it's quite matured, okay? So we have to understand, competitively speaking, you know, how much more market cap is it going to absorb from the rest of the market, right? From the market as an entirety, the total. That's what we have to keep in mind here. Okay, so the market cap is still a very, very relevant metric. And despite what people say, the market cap can be used as a great metric to compare other projects and potential gains for future gains. That's what we use the market cap for. That's about it, really. Stacks still grinding to the upside, 27% today. Another great performance by Stacks, looking pretty good. Of course, off the back of Bitcoin. Optimism doing okay, but nothing great. Celestia, Tia doing good, still within range. That's the thing, guys. If we see range bound price action, what else do you expect, right? As soon as we start breaking out, that's where you get the expansion phase. That's where you get the next leg. That's where you get the next impulsive move. And so far, as I'm scrolling down, there's nothing really that important. Flow looking okay. 7.5%. Synthetics doing okay, but still grinding to the downside. Phantom, is Phantom gonna wake up finally? Guys, this is the next one. We're looking for Phantom. We're looking for Algorand. We're looking for a lot of those layer ones to finally wake up. And in fact, I'm also looking for Radix, Zilliqa, the Graph. I'm looking for other ones to kind of get going finally. Ordi's coming down, kind of going sideways here. Nothing that interesting. KuCoin find a bottom maybe, up 4% today. Theta, not really interesting in my book. I used to be really interested in Theta, but nothing right now. Beam getting a nice 9% pop. Guys, generally speaking, the market's still good. The market's still hot. And the reason why we're seeing the altcoin market look as good as it is, it's either going sideways or still moving up. And we can see Mina Protocol up approximately 13% today. IOTA up approximately 5%. And the list goes on. So either sideways or up it is here for the altcoin market. Guys, if you have nice green portfolios, is nothing wrong with coming up with a defensive strategy. Okay, here, guys, we see that Bitcoin is very frothy. If Bitcoin does roll over, I'm expecting you know, a bit of a retracement market wide, and of course we'll get into those fire sale scenarios where we'll be spamming those buy orders. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin talking about Bitcoin. What is going on here with Bitcoin? Bitcoin going sideways still, as expected. As I mentioned in the last little while, you know, going sideways is absolutely great. We want Bitcoin to go sideways. Why? Because I know a lot of us are in the altcoin market. And when Bitcoin goes sideways, altcoins take full advantage of this sideways boring price action and start running, right? And that's what we've been seeing in the last little while. But the question is, are we going to get a continuation? And in fact, are we going to get an altcoin season? All right, guys, let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. At the end of the day, honestly, Bitcoin hovering around here, there's nothing really much to say other than that the bulls might be looking at this as a bull flag, a continuation to the upside. Very true, very possible. And obviously, I don't have a very bullish price target. If we get to this red arrow right here, I'll be happy. And of course, seeing a rejection here would probably confirm the scenario where we are looking at a distribution phase right at the top of the range, okay, for Bitcoin. And to be honest, given the fact that Bitcoin has been performing very well in the last little while, makes me feel like I should be looking at other assets that haven't moved just yet, or maybe laggers, ones that are just about to move. All right, so Bitcoin right now is doing exactly what I needed to do. I don't expect it to roll over really quickly here. In fact, on the daily, we're seeing that it's holding up fairly nicely in overbought conditions. The bearish divergence is still intact. However, guys, we're getting multiple drives of it. On the 4 hour, we're going overbought again. As you can see, we went oversold. We got the bullish divergence. Guys, this is textbook. This is what we were talking about right here. I was like, look, guys, bullish divergence, horizontal support. Let's get into it. All of a sudden, we're going to expect altcoins to run upon this move. Now, if Bitcoin makes a higher high here, guys, even if it's a liquidity grab and sweep the highs, we're going to see altcoins run again. Okay, we're going to see Ethereum do well, and we're going to see a lot of these altcoins run. Okay, so let's pay attention to that in the short term so we can align our portfolio correctly and put the capital where it needs to go to put it to work, right? We got to put our capital to work in the short term. At the same time, it's always great to have a bit of cash on the side for any opportunities. Make sure that you prepare for dips along the way. All right, guys, today's video, is about ZEP. Let's take a look at ZEP. What's going on here with ZEP? Perfect price action. I kind of like what's going on here as far as retracement goes. I'm going to try to keep this video very straightforward and concise. You can see that the retracement is real. It came down significantly in comparison to the previous low. Let's use Fibonacci, and we see the point of control down here. Let's make it an average right around here. Let's take it all the way to the top. Doesn't have to be too accurate here. You can see that we're pretty much getting to that golden pocket zone. We fell slightly below it. Horizontal support at previous low. Let me kind of zoom in here. You have a bit of a cluster of supply and demand here. You can see that the volume profile is kind of empty here, showing us a bit of weakness. So we are definitely respecting the top of the volume gap, getting a few bounces here. Now, are we getting bullish divergence? Yes, we are. Let's see what's going on here. We got lower lows on the price action right here with this low and that low. And you can see that ultimately we're making higher lows here. So that means class A bearish divergence. Let's zoom in a little bit more. We have to exclude the wicks. Didn't really change much. Still downward sloping, no doubt. So this is the scenario here, guys. Do we actually get a pivot point? What would it give us a bit of confirmation here is to come up, come back down, get a confirmation, a low, a higher low, and then it gives us more confirmation. However, guys, DCAing here after a retracement down to the golden pocket, which is equivalent to approximately, let's see a bit what kind of a dip we're getting with percentage wise. You could see that we're down approximately 60% fire sale right here on ZEP. If you were on Zephyr, if you were basically bullish all the way up here, what makes you less bullish down here? This is where the fire sale comes in. This is where the opportunity is, where a lot of people start shaking and they don't buy the dip because they didn't even know what they were buying. Particularly, you should be fundamentally bullish. You should know what this project is all about so that when you get these opportunities, you are ready to deploy. This yellow box meant that I was ready to start DCAing and considering DCAing into this area. I still see the volume gap holding up, but I'm also considering the fact that this project could fall down to about $8. Okay, that's the 886 retracement. We don't have much price action here to really validate this horizontal, but we do have some volume. Okay, this is where we pick up a little bit of volume down here. Now, I do identify the fact that we have a bit of spike of volume here as well, based on this little jitter of supply and demand, which we could basically get some support off of. It is the 786, so that's a very confluent zone as well to expect a bit of a bounce. So look, we have two arrows right here. This is a good DCA opportunity. If you want to separate your buy orders in DCA like this, one here, one here, one here, that's not bad of an idea as well, because we could come down for a little bit of a dip, fall through the volume gap, get support right here at about 1350, and then finally run. Or we can get support right up at the top of the volume gap at about $17, or even where we are right now for that matter. Okay, because accuracy is very difficult. It's general areas. So once we hit the general area and you see yourself in oversold or overbought conditions, it's a smart idea to start buying and DCAing. Now, for the negative part, the reality is that the momentum didn't get oversold yet here on the daily, which means on the 4 hour we could potentially go sideways. We can get a retracement, come back down, bounce back up, and go sideways here for a little while the daily goes in the chop zone. While the daily stays in the chop zone here in the 50% zone of the RSI, means that the price action could go sideways. And if you look at the 4 hour, sorry, this is the daily, the 8 hour. If you look at the 4 hour, there's no real volatility here other than this bullish divergence that came oversold, but not in extreme conditions, and it is oversold, and we're kind of sideways in this chop zone. So the reality is we might get into a scenario where we can accumulate here, and the peaks and the valleys are going to exist, and the peaks might go a little bit higher, but the valleys might go as deep as maybe even falling into the gap just a little bit, maybe as low as about 1325, and that would be a good opportunity to DCA just in case. So I would say that this is a good area. Back to the daily. Let's continue on the daily here. So oversold conditions might bring us down further. And bringing us down further doesn't happen in one red candle. Bounce, come back down, get into these levels, horizontal support, good levels of confluence. The MACD still facing down, red histogram bars to the downside, not really good. Entering the bearish control zone down here at the bottom, which means that ultimately, again, continuation to the downside on the daily. So overall, guys, ZEP ultimately is looking good as far as retracement with a 63% retracement. But the only risk that you're taking right now is that the daily gets oversold, and ultimately see there's no confirmation low here. It's still making lower lows and lower highs in this potential descending wedge. You can see that the descending wedge and descending wedges, statistically speaking, should break out bullish eventually as soon as we hit a bottom. But the issue is that we didn't get any indications of bottom just yet. So this is where, again, DCAing is the perfect strategy. Slow and steady, and that way you can get a bit of exposure to the volatility and get some skin in the game just in case we do get a bounce any moment now. So we're doing pretty good here. Ultimately, I'm buying the dip, guys. If I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a huge favor and slap the like button. Of course, I'm going to be live tonight at 7:30 Eastern, where we can talk about crypto news and price action. If you have any projects you want me to cover, that is a great time and place to make those requests, and I'll put them in top priority. Guys, join the Discord. The Discord is a great community. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.